Let's have a look at ferrous limits, how you set the upper and lower and what effect they have on iron and good targets.
The ferrous limits setting allows you to control whether the detector classifies targets as ferrous or non-ferrous based on their ferrous and conductive properties. This setting is very similar to the iron bias setting in other MINELAB multi-IQ detectors, but provides far more control over how it is applied to targets. There are a range of preset settings to choose from that are suitable for most detecting conditions, or you can create your own custom ferrous limits. A customized ferrous limits pattern is able to reject difficult ferrous junk items, or can accept desirable ferrous items like ferrous coins. The ferrous limits setting is local, however, changes made to the custom ferrous limits settings are global and available in all search modes. The ferrous limits setting is disabled when using single frequencies. To enable ferrous limits, change the frequency to multi-IQ+. The ID map is divided in half horizontally, creating upper and lower limits. The upper limits control the ferrous classification of most iron objects. This includes the most common small iron objects such as screws and nails, which typically appear in the top half of the ID map. Increasing or closing the upper limits, moving them closer to the center line on the ID map, will classify more targets as iron, and result in less iron falsing. However, this will also reduce target separation performance, the ability of the detector to separate good targets from nearby iron. Decreasing or opening up the upper limits, moving them further away from the center line, will classify fewer targets as iron and increase falsing on iron, but will also increase target separation performance. The lower limits control the ferrous classification of some types of flat iron objects such as bottle caps and pieces of sheet metal, which often appear in the lower half of the ID map. Increasing or closing the lower limits, moving them closer to the center line on the ID map, will classify more flat iron objects completely as iron. However, this may also reduce depth on some deep targets in mineralized ground, particularly low mid-conductors. Decreasing or opening the lower limits, moving them further away from the center line, will classify fewer flat iron objects as iron, but may also improve depth on some deep targets in mineralized ground. Bottle caps often have an ID within the 0 to 40 range, which is why the preset lower limits have a raised region in this zone of the ID map. Targets detected within the ferrous limits gray area will give no target response or ferrous indication. In all metal, targets will give a ferrous tone as defined by the ferrous tone setting, and the ferrous indicator will be displayed. Targets detected outside of the ferrous limits in the white area will give a regular target response as defined by the target tone setting. The preset settings are designed to cover most detecting scenarios so you can confidently detect using the presets, rather than needing to create your own custom ferrous limits. Preset ferrous limits provide a range of settings suitable for almost all scenarios, and most users will operate using presets, rather than custom ferrous limits. The presets can be copied to any of the custom ferrous limits to serve as a starting point for further editing. The upper and lower preset ferrous limits can be copied to the custom limits, replacing the existing limits. Navigate to Settings and Ferrous Limits. Press the arrow keys to select preset, then press the right soft key to open the ferrous limits preset selector. Press the arrow key to select either upper or lower limits. From the displayed list, select the custom limits you want to copy the preset to, choose from custom 1 to 4. Then press the right soft key to confirm that you are sure you want to replace the existing custom limits. This cannot be undone. Then press the right soft key to confirm. A message will be displayed, and the custom ferrous limits editor will open with the new limits applied, ready for editing. For rare occasions where the preset ferrous limits are not achieving the ferrous rejection that you need, you can create your own more precise custom ferrous limits. In the custom ferrous limits editor, the upper and lower limits are each subdivided into 5 adjustable regions. This lets you fine-tune the classification of targets that are directly adjacent to one another. The target trace remains active in the ferrous limits editor so you can see detected targets in real time. You can refer to it as you adjust the limits in order to include or exclude specific targets. You can create up to 4 custom ferrous limits. The ferrous limits can be edited to include or exclude specific targets, allowing you to hear good ferrous targets such as relics or ferrous coins that are produced by some countries, while rejecting nearby ferrous trash. Place your test target on the ground in a metal-free location. Navigate to Settings and Ferrous Limits. Press the arrows key to select the custom ferrous limits you want to adjust, then press the right soft key to open the editor. Swing the coil over the test target. In this example, a ferrous English coin was used. The target trace will appear on the ID map. Press the arrow keys to navigate to the region nearest to the coin's trace and then press the right soft key to enter the edit mode. Wave the coil over the coin at a range of heights, adjusting the ferrous limits until all of the target trace is captured inside the white area. Press the arrows keys to navigate to the region nearest to the coin trace and then press the right soft key. Wave the coil over the coin at a range of heights, adjusting the ferrous limits until all of the target trace is captured inside the gray area. To be thorough, you can also change the orientation of the test target a few times in between swings to capture all the trace variation for that target. You may need to adjust adjacent regions to capture any last parts of the trace. Ferrous limits combined with a discrimination pattern is a tool that makes the Manticore a great relic and treasure hunting metal detector.